whatever.
Can women think for themselves without self-destruction and extinguishing the human family? Can your woman just think for herself without her self-destruction and destroying the human family? Do you think she's capable of thinking for herself and not destroying herself and the family?
You know, I've done a lot of reflecting. Divorce is about starting over, and you have to learn how to live again.
I don't see the evidence of women being able to think for themselves. I'm not saying all women, but I am saying most women who think for themselves, the things they do is self-destruction and destroy not only the human family, their direct family.
She said that, you know, her and her sister were no longer close and they're not in that place anymore.
It's times like this when I feel and wish that my sister and I were still close and I could, you know, pick up the phone and call her. But that's just not where we are right now.
And then she turned around and tried to save face and was saying, no, I'm not saying that we're not close, as in how close we are. I'm talking about in proximity and, you know, we don't live by one another.
Said that you wish that you were still close with your sister.
And people take things out of context. You know, I was talking about proximity.
Yeah.
You know, as siblings, we all grow up and we have our own lives and we have different roles and responsibilities. We don't live in the same town or city. So I was just, you know, talking about that. When I feel and wish that my sister and I were still close and I could, you know, pick up the phone and call her.
It's all foolish.
Women who think for themselves normally are lost and confused. Normally midlife crisis type situations. Maybe they're studs. Maybe they have a full-time job. Maybe they're a boss at a job. They're in a position of authority. You know what I mean? So they have this false sense of security.
But now that she out there in the streets, you know, it is not difficult to see why her and Tamara are not going to maybe be in close physical proximity with each other even during family times, because they are so far removed from one another. That's two very different directions. You have a woman who is a wife, you know, taking care of her kids, you know, being submissive to her husband, dressing modestly, talking about tradition, going to church, you know, all the above. And then you have the sister that is a complete contrast.
I'm not ashamed to say it. I'm in my hoe phase right now. Happiness over everything. Where's your mind?
In my personal opinion, I believe that Tamara has drawn a line in the sand.
Conversation about the destruction of the American family, which is the reason everything is in chaos. Why would I watch this sucker? The American family is gone. Even with the Caucasian man.
That's a fact.
When the Almighty created woman, he created a weird animal. They're incapable of being happy.
Why do you say that?
Because women with curly hair buy a straightener. Women with straight hair buy a curler. Women with dark hair dye it blonde. Women with blonde hair dye it dark. Women with big boobs, they get breast reduction. Women with small boobs, they get implants.
I absolutely went into marriage knowing I was going to become a divorcee. There was no question in my mind. I knew at some point we would get divorced. The only question mark was when. I thought, you know, when I'm 40, maybe then I'd earned it, you know, 10 years down the track. Because I think 10 years in a marriage, that's a pretty good innings in this day and age. That's like a good run. Turns out it was just the 3. In the end, that's all we kind of reached our limit with. But, you know, still got the title in the end. And obviously, I don't want to get married ever again. However, double divorcee is a term that I'm living for. Like, that is, isn't it? Oh, yeah, I'm a double divorcee. What? That's Slayana. Almost would be worth getting married again for. But as I said, I'm not going to get married again unless it's someone with terrible health, no living other relatives, and a lot of money. In which case, inquire within.
If we're not talking about the separation of the women from the men, this ain't just black people. This is all the women have been trained to rebel against everything in their insane state of life.
You know, when it comes to the reality show, Tamara was very clear when she was asked on the red carpet. They were like, "Oh, did you know about this reality show?" And Tamara said, "No, I had no idea. I found out with y'all."
Tia's returning to reality TV.
I know. I didn't know until I found out with the rest of the world.
Any chance we'll see you on there?
She didn't ask me. So I take that as no.
This is why she did not invite her sister, because she know her sister not playing these games. She know her sister not gonna go to get drunk with her. She know her sister not gonna go over here and be partying in Vegas with her. She know she not gonna be up and down. She knows she not doing that.
If a woman is out here, I'll put it like this. If she went through 30 through 40 without being around a strong man training her, by the time she is 40, it's almost impossible to save her. If we're not talking real facts about what's happening with the beautiful women of the world, who some of them can be saved and become something that you can have a proud legacy with, I think the homeless because families are not together.
Ladies, gentlemen, and polite savages, you are now about to witness tales of astonishment, sure to anger modern women and harlots alike. As always, we can only tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth as we see it. And sometimes the truth is a bitter, bitter pill, but you gotta shut up and take your medicine. Well, there's nothing else left to do but get on into it. Are you ready? Let's go. You know, in this world, there's nothing closer than a set of twins. You see it all the time. When they're young, they dress the same. I even knew a pair of twins who got married on the same day. Still married to this day to their ladies. Hell, sometimes twins even marry twins, so it's like a twin. Wow. But one thing that's very rare is for twins not to spend holidays together. If they are able to, if they're not separated by enormous distance, and even if they are, most times you will see at least at one time a year that they have the entire family together, always in pictures, always smiling. I mean, these fellas, I know they have over 30 years of holidays together from the time in their adult life. So when I see Tia Mowry not with her twin sister on Thanksgiving, I know something's wrong. Only thing I can surmise is that Tia's not living a life that her sister agrees with.
It was very evidently clear how distant she was from the way in which Tamara portrays herself on social media compared to Tia.
So this year we are having a non-alcoholic Christmas dinner.
Why are you so awake?
I can drink someone under the table.
Tamara has been very outspoken about the fact that she is, a devoted Christian, family woman. She's more conservative. She doesn't dress provocative. She's not into provocative things.
And also I'm looking forward to seeing where God takes me in my career.
Even at the time when, Tamara was actually getting married to her husband, she was very open about the fact that she didn't want any exotic dancers or anything like that, like completely. And even at that time, Tia was still introducing the idea for Tamara, regardless of the fact that she said that she did not want that.
No strippers. Okay. All I want is the pretty crown and the pretty bachelorette set. I specifically said, I don't want a stripper.
How you
like because she didn't like it. I know. It was just a joke.
Tamara had just gotten married and her and Tia went to lunch. And Tia was like, oh, I don't see you anymore and you don't spend any time with me. And Tamara's like, I'm a newlywed. Right? Like, I'm a wife.
And I've actually been getting a little worried about that with you. Why? The reason why I'm saying worry is because when you get married, you don't want to lose other avenues and stuff that's going on in your life. Ever since Tamara got engaged, I've noticed a change in her. She stopped acting and her main focus is on a relationship.
You see, her sister Tamara, she's a family woman. Family's everything to her, as though it appears on the outside. And when Tia changed course a little, shake the spot a little, and decided to get on out there and do her thing in Vegas, put it all on social media, well, it's kind of hard to ignore it when it's all up in your face.
Tia Mowry setting a bad example to all the ladies out there as they take a peek in a sample of her life. And at one time, she was seen as a girl next door. On Sister Sister, far away from looking like an industry freak out in them streets, a child star turning to a horrid starlet, being passed around on the casting couch. Instead, in the Las Vegas incident, well, what does Tia Mowry go do? She gets her cheeks clapped on her show and in front of everybody in the venue.
I think a girls trip would be fun. Where should we go?
Vegas. No! We're here! I was like, girl, your shoe.
Them legs were up in the air.
Up. And she was with it. Who is she? Like Tia 2.0.
And no one was missing it as social media took notice that Tia Mowry was ready to throw away all her good girl image and blow it just so she can get the clicks, the views, and stay relevant, when it all really just looks like a downright scandalous embarrassment. It doesn't matter who she hurts or the family that she puts underneath her shoe, but we know it's in her fantasies that she's willing and wanting to get flued out. Now, Miss Tia Mowry, I'm just speculating here, don't sue me, sis, but that sister act is all running out when we really can see what you're really all about. She wants to go and live her best whole life and at the same time pursue her career at all costs, sacrificing her family for fame and notoriety and clout. She shouted loud already on social media, she shouted loud on her shows, and any willing and able young bull ready to sling that pole. Modern women want to have it all, and at the same time, exact as punishment and pain on the men, the loyal men that was willing to stand by their side and commit to them for life with a ring on their finger.
Me when I get married, but it's not him. I mean, I do love him. He is my first love, and he is the one I should marry, but I just...
Oh my God, I don't want to get married to my husband.
When I broke up with him because I didn't want to get married, because I wanted to focus on my career, #women in male fields.
I mean, you can't make that species happy. If they're light skinned, they want to get darker. There is no making them happy. They got eyebrows, they shave them off and draw new ones on. There is no making that species happy.
Modern women in Tia Mowry want the dream wedding, but also want to live a life of attention from many men. When they feel like their happiness has run out, that's when they're willing to step out on their marriage, doing as much damage as they can on their way out the door, even when they know what they're doing is wrong to the core. To fill that rotten void that they have inside, when it can't be filled by them boys, them boy toys, them sex toys, then what ends up happening, polite savages, is these women, once they get ravaged by father time, fall back on their same choice with pursuing a career, willing to tear apart their family legacy to work for someone else's business under a boss that any time could lay them off, fire them and hire a hot new girl ready to take that woman's place. Now in this case, Tia Mowry is a boss babe, apparently strong and independent, but the problem remains the same, that some random younger woman can easily take her place, replace her as a new Tia Mowry. No matter what type of tantrum that she ends up throwing, the new scallywag trollops are willing to go and coasting and be posting exactly in the same place that she was controlling, to a downward spiral of horrible conditions.
But I want you to see this post here. Look at Tamari Mowry. Now there she is with White Zaddy and all of her mixed kids there. They're looking very nice. Look at what she says here on her Thanksgiving post. Happy Thanksgiving. What a blessing it was to have family come up north to spend Thanksgiving this year. And what a treat it was to have my mom teach me all the tricks in making her turkey and ham. Was so nervous to do it myself, but I learned you have to dive in and go for it. Well, let's look at the pictures. First slide. That's Tamari and her kids. Okay. Third slide, that's her lighting a candle. Then fourth slide, that's the turkey. And then you see everything. If you go slide by slide, I'm seeing kids, I'm seeing jumping jacks, and the food is looking good. Who don't I see? I don't see Tia.
You would see some kind of comments on social media like, hey sis, wish we could have all been together, love you. Tamara ain't said nothing.
So Tia, I got a question. Why don't your family like you? Why don't they like you, boo? Why does your family, why they don't want nothing to do with you?
You see, everybody doesn't go through a midlife crisis. Everyone doesn't feel like there's more out there. Everybody doesn't feel like they need to do more. But it's a funny thing why you can have two identical twins, but people are dynamic, raised the same, raised in the same house, different outcomes. Because the secret to life and happiness is truly being satisfied with what you're able to attain and not lusting for what you can't. And let me tell you, somebody who knows that secret will never ever say they graduated marriage. For better or for worse, sickness and in health, or at least until you matriculate to the next level. Something just ain't right.
You know, that's your sister, that's your family, but there comes a point that sometimes people are going to say, nah, you need to go over there and do you and figure it out, whatever it is that you need to figure out, but I'm not going to bend, you know, what I believe in or what I stand for to accompany you in stuff that I don't agree with. I'm not gonna do it.
That's all I got for you, you polite savages. Like and subscribe, hit us up on all social media networks.
We found true happiness.